What did Augustine teach about hell? Was he an annihilationist? Kirk Cameron recently tried to use Augustine to argue for annihilationism. They were discussing where Augustine uses the death sentence as an analogy for hell.
Augustine is saying is that no, it was the death penalty, it was capital punishment, you're done. And so his argument is we, at the same time, can't look to the punishment that God metes out for our sin and say it's got to be an eternity of time to fit the severity of sinning against God.
That sounds like Augustine is arguing for annihilationism. However, this totally backfires on them because Augustine was obviously in favor of the traditional view of hell. Bodies endure in everlasting torments. For the spirit, whose presence animates and rules the body, can both suffer pain and cannot die. Here then is something which, though it can feel pain, is immortal. The soul, which is either the only or the chief sufferer, has yet a kind of immortality of its own. This actually ends up being kind of funny, because in his book Enchiridion, Augustine talks about the fact that some people try to reject the eternal conscious torment view of hell. He says that these people, like Kirk Cameron, are arguing against Scripture itself, and that they're following their own feelings, so that they can make the difficult parts softer and milder. So, no, Augustine was absolutely not an annihilationist, but held to the eternal conscious torment view of hell. Check out my longer video on this topic for more detail.